Hey guys, in this episode we're gonna really quick have a mishmash of projects I've been doing around the shop with COVID and coronavirus. Um, haven't really gotten around to making a lot of YouTube videos. I hope you guys are staying safe. So this video is really just a mishmash of things I've done around the shop and new things I hope you find. One main thing that's going to be in this video is a torch height controller for my plasma cutter that involved adding a Z-axis, which I just got a cheap one off of Amazon. They're like $40 for the motor and the linear rail. I only need like 100 or 1,000 millimeters of movement, not even that. So it's like $40, or I could build my own and probably spend more money. But Z-axis doesn't need to be too much on a plasma cutter. So there's going to be that. The best way, I upgraded to Mach3 for the torch height controller. So I'm gonna quickly walk you through how I went about making a shielded box. If you look, a benefit to a metal box is it's shielded. So any interference or RF noise that comes through the plasma cutter will pretty much get absorbed by the metal box. And if you ground that metal box, pretty much it won't interfere with your input data or output data. So with my machine, all my wires are shielded. They go into a cheap Harbor Freight tool cart, which is about, I think it was $60. So, and if you look on Amazon, a shielded box, just a box, no wheels, can be a lot more money. One of the cheaper options, if you're going that route, is look at what's called ammo crates. Other than that, like a utility box, pretty much what all your breakers are in, they can go for like $200. So for $60 you get a nice shielded box that it's on wheels, and when you run Mach 3 you have your own computer or a computer that's pretty much designated for that, because you need a parallel port. So I actually went on Facebook Marketplace, got a cheap computer, and everything fits in that cart. So it's really nice. You guys will notice I am filming on my phone. That's because my phone has a really nice steady camera, so you don't get a whole lot of movement. Been pretty busy. So first off, I ended up doing a torch height controller. This actual printed torch height controller is available on Thingiverse. So I catted my own, had it looking pretty nice, and then I saw this one and it looked better. So I did that. I just the one on Thingiverse doesn't have nearly
this, but the one on Thingiverse is just one screw across and it bends the plastic around. I don't really like models like that. Um, I'll let you guys see what the cutting with the torch height controller and probing is when I open up the table. This is my new box. My old, it's a Dell 920 or something. Anything that has a pentastar, it's actually quite a computer. So this is honestly the best way we saw about cheaply having a really nice box. It's just a Harbor Freight tool cart. So this is my torch height controller. And then right here, I got my potentiometer to adjust the volts and everything. One thing is, anybody that has a torch height controller, I'm running about 220 volts. Is that about normal for you guys or not? And then you can see we have XYZ. Here, let me zoom out, not in, out. This is actually just a catted plate I made on the plasma cutter, and then we did one bend. Um, and then I was planning on putting the torch height controller in here. That's why there's this big open space. But then I remembered you have to see the display, so it goes back there. So we have our X, Y1, Y2, Z, our power supply, and then we have this, which is pretty much hooked up to a whole bunch of different power supplies that controls the computer, the fans. So one thing is, I'll show you really quickly on the Mach 3 board. So from right to left on those bottoms, we have ground and then your 5 inputs. So one thing to note with your 5 inputs, they actually go to ground, which to make that ground bigger. So instead of putting them all in that little blue kit, I have a little bolt right here that's insulated. Um, Pretty much, what's the E switch? White and red. So red and white, you can see goes to ground. It goes up here to my E switch. And then normally open or normally closed is controlled in Mach 3 when you do that active high, active low. Got some really cool custom DNC fan shrouds. But yeah, you pretty much. This is the best way we thought of something to have a fully shielded box. All the wires are shielded. I'll let you see it in 1 second, but before we do that, I'm going to show you my next project, which this is what my dad has been welding. And this is our new 4x8 um, table. Not really made for it, but we had some old this is actually uh tubing for a fence post. It looks like trampoline rounds, but we bent those and it works really nice. I can actually go right underneath of it. My wheelchair. Um Everything's about within, I'm pretty sure, about a 64th of an inch, which is pretty good. I mean, once we get the rails on, which we don't really know what kind of rails we're gonna use. Once we get the rails on, we will actually just face off this top piece, or have another sheet on top of this and face it off. That way, the surface is completely flat with the tool piece. And then also, I'll show you this. This is one thing my dad's been doing. Cut all the vinyl for him, everything. Got in a wheelchair, hopping over hoses. I'll show you the back. So this is actually a old cooler. It's got a little bottle opener in there. And then on this back, these are Velcroed on. They're actually kind of a pain to get off. They're Velcroed on and they collect all the caps. So this is how the floating head works. You can see it goes down, touches that limit switch, and then it goes up, fires. Here it is on Mach 3. You'll see the digitize lights up. That would be the E switch. It fires a torch. You can see torch up, torch down, and torch on. One thing to note is my torch height controller has a little bit of delay, which I actually programmed to be about 1 second. So while the torch is firing, it's not backfeeding and doing weird things into Mach, like saying go down or up while piercing. And then this is just real time video of the cut I'm doing at the very end. You'll see it. It's a tree of life.
I don't know if it would hit or not, but do 100 on the amperage. We do have a little bigger gap this time.
Yeah.
But I like it. You think the gap's about right?
Well, I set the
Barely touches that.
maybe a little bit closer, but you wanna hit this with the vacuum really quick.
Still so used to this. I'm not used to it. All the time.
Yeah, you got the thing so on for it to pop.
The metal's really bowing up. Let's see how it acts. Still bringing it up off of it. Look, it's up that far. That is awesome.
I think it touched right there, but it was only for
video of you picking it up.
Am I close enough to frame?
You gotta go down a little bit. There you go.
Okay, let's look at the backside.
You can get a close up of that.
Can you see my thumb?